So this topic is not so heavy, but it's important. Okay, identify the risk and then develop strategies so that we have a backup plan, right? Something like that. Okay, so let me share the video first. Right.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today's topic is managing project risk. What will we learn in chapter 7? First of all, throughout this chapter, we should be able to learn 6 things. First of all, we should be able to learn about the project risk management planning framework. Next, we should be able to learn the risk identification tools, causes, effects, and the integrative nature of project risk. And we should also learn about the risk strategies such as insurance, avoidance, or mitigation, and risk monitoring and control, risk evaluation. And lastly, we should be able to understand the qualitative and quantitative analysis techniques to prioritize and analyze various projects' risks. Now, why do we need to know the proper project risk management? Because it will help us identify, understand, and respond to threats and opportunities. These are some common mistakes done in managing project risk. The first one is not understanding the benefits of risk management. Second mistake is not providing enough time for risk management. And lastly, is not identifying and assessing risk using a standardized approach. What do we need to achieve effective and successful risk management? There are 3 aspects needed to achieve effective and successful risk management. The first aspect is we need commitment from all stakeholders. The second aspect is we need responsibility from stakeholders. And lastly, we need to remember that different types of projects have different risk. What does risk mean? Based on the PMBOK guide, the definition of risk is an uncertain event or condition that, if it occurs, it has a positive or negative effect on one or more of the project's objectives, such as scope, schedule, cost, and quality. There are 6 processes in project risk management. The first process is create risk plan. Second process is to identify risk. Next, analyze risk. After that, develop risk strategies. The next one is monitor and control risk. And last process is respond and evaluate risk. The first step in project risk management process is create risk plan. This step requires firm commitment by all stakeholders to the entire risk management approach. Risk management should align throughout the organization to ensure consistency. Next, risk plan should focus on preparation. Systematic preparation and planning can help minimize adverse effects on the project while taking advantage of opportunities as they arise.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. And next we are going to proceed with the step 2, identify risk through a project risk identification framework. As you can see here, this is a circle that consists of few parts that could eventually give a risk to your organization. As a center, you can see it's a MOV. What is MOV? MOV is a measurable organization value. So basically, we have a few parts here: budget, scope, quality, schedule, and part of it, second part of it, product, other people, legal, and so on. So as you can see here, the last part of the project is a close project, evaluate project success, conceptualize and initialize, develop project charter and plan, execute and control. That's the step and plan to make sure that risk could be handled efficiently. Next, we are going to proceed with the risk identification tools and techniques. So we have several techniques here. We have learning cycles, brainstorming, Delphi techniques, interviews, SWOT analysis, nominal group technique, checklist, past project, cause and effects. We are going through the techniques that are not familiar as a student. So first thing first is Delphi method. So what is Delphi method? Delphi method consists of interview, analyze, summarize, all text back on participant as anonymous, feedback on summary, analyze, summarize results again, feedback and results of the study. Next, we have nominal group technique. So we have nominal group technique as a different stages. Stage 1, silent generation of ideas in writing. Stage 2, round robin recordings of ideas. Stage 3, discussion on ideas. Stage 4, ranking of ideas. Stage 5, tellings of ranking. Stage 6, review of the rankings. And last but not least, the learning cycles. As you can see here, the learning cycle consists of 4 parts. We have active, concrete, reflection, and abstracts. That's how we are going to proceed with the learning cycles. Next, we are going to proceed with the checklist and SWOT analysis. As a person, you must have a checklist to ensure that the tasks that you have managed should be done in a complete time of your framework. So first thing first, of course, the funding for the project has been secured, funding for the project is sufficient, is funding for the project has been approved, and so on. So basically, you must make sure that every checklist has been ticked to make sure that it has been completed. Next, SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is a strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. We need to understand if you want to handle an organization, you need to comply with these 4 primary aspects. So here, last but not least, the cause and effect diagram. Here, we have 6 primary aspects of what causes a car that will not start. We have materials, machine, measurement, methods, people, and environment. So we have lost the key, out of gas, starter broken, battery dead, engine overheated, battery cables corroded, gas clutch is broken, too cold, lack of training, using wrong key, no preventive maintenance, forgot to start car, not pressing accelerator, locked out of a car. This is the effect that will cause to the car that will not start.
Next step in project risk management processes is analyze risk. There are 2 approaches in analyze risk, which is qualitative approaches and quantitative approaches.
Firstly is expected value and payoff table. Expected value is really an average or mean that takes into account both the probability and impact of various events or outcome. The project manager believes each outcome has a probability of occurring and an associated payoff. The project manager's subjective beliefs are summarized in a payoff table. As you can see from the table, the project manager believes that the project has a relatively small chance of finishing 20 days early or 20 days late. The payoff for finishing the project early is quite high, but there appears to be a penalty for completing the project late. As a result, the expected value or the returns to the consulting firm is $88,000. Since each event is mutually exclusive, only one of the 5 events can occur. The probabilities must sum to 100%. Next is the decision tree. Decision tree is similar to a payoff table. A decision tree provides a visual or graphical view of various decisions and outcomes. To create a decision tree, firstly, we need to start with a decision that needs to be made. Secondly, from this decision, branch out towards the right with an option, which is decision, and a result, which is outcome. And then we need to continue doing this until you have drawn out as many of the possible decisions and outcomes as you can. Then we need to multiply the probability of each decision by the financial cost or benefit of the outcome. And then lastly, we need to add together the probability multiplied by the financial outcome in the previous step for each branch of the decision tree. Next, we have risk impact table. A risk impact table is a useful tool for analyzing and prioritizing various project risks. The left-hand column of table lists the possible risks that were identified using the project risk framework illustrated in payoff table. For simplicity, we will focus only on risk in terms of traits, but opportunities could be analyzed and assessed using the same technique. Lastly, we have risk ranking. Once a probability and an impact are assigned to each risk event, they are multiplied together to come out with a risk score. Although this score is based on the subjective opinions of the project stakeholders, it does provide a mechanism for determining which risks should be monitored and which risks may require a response. Once a risk score is computed for each risk, the risk can be ranked or prioritized as in these risk ranking tables.
Next, step 3 analyze risk quantitative approaches. In quantitative probability distributions, there are 2 types, which is discrete and continuous. In discrete, they are binomial, and in continuous, they are normal. PERT and TRING. Binomial probability distribution is a frequency distribution of the possible number of successful outcomes in a given number of trials, in each of which there is the same probability of success. This is an example of binomial probability distribution. Next, normal distribution is a continuous probability distribution wherein value lies in a symmetrically fashion, mostly situated around the mean. This is the example of normal distribution graph. In normal distribution, rules of thumb with respect to observation, approximately 68% plus minus 1 standard deviation of mean, 95% plus minus 2 standard deviation of the mean, and lastly 99% plus minus 3 standard deviation of the mean. This is the formula of PERT mean, which is in bracket A plus 4B plus C divided by 6, where A is optimistic estimate, B is mostly likely, and lastly C is pessimistic. The PERT distribution is used exclusively for modeling expert estimates, where 1 is given the expert minimum, most likely, and maximum cases. This is the example of PERT distribution graph. The triangular distribution is a continuous probability distribution with a probability density function shaped like a triangle. This is the example of triangular distribution graph. In simulation, Monte Carlo is a technique that randomly generates specific values for a variable with a specific probability distribution. It goes through a number of trials or iterations and records the outcome. Next, in risk 6, an MS check and impact provides a useful tool for conducting a risk analysis of your project plan. For more information, please check out this link. Monte Carlo simulation is a model used to predict the probability of a variety of outcome when the potential for random variable is present. This is the example of Monte Carlo simulation graph. Cumulative probability distribution is a function that gives the probability that a random variable is less than or equal to the independent variable of the function. This is the example of cumulative probability distribution graph.
Step 4. Develop risk strategies. The purpose of risk analysis and assessment is to determine what opportunities and threats should be addressed. It is not feasible or advisable to respond to each and every threat or opportunity identified because avoiding all threats or chasing after every opportunity requires resources to be diverted from the real project work. Therefore, the risk strategy or response to a particular risk depends on the first one, the nature of the risk itself. For example, if an organization, they must know, is this really a threat or an opportunity for the project, and how will the project be affected? At what points during the project life cycle will the project be affected? And the second one is impact of the risk on the project's MOB and objective. A risk has a probability and impact on the project if it occurs. For example, what is the likelihood of this occurring, and what if this risk occurs? How will the project be affected, and what can be gained? The third one is the project's constraint in terms of scope, schedule, budget, and quality requirements. For example, if the organization can be response to a particular threat or opportunity be made within the available resources and constraints of the project. Additionally, will additional resources be made available if a particular risk occurs? And the last one is risk tolerance or preferences of the project stakeholders. For example, how much risk is each stakeholder willing to tolerate, and how committed is each stakeholder to the risk management process? We are moving on to strategies to respond to opportunities with potential positive impacts on the project. The first one is exploitation. This strategy attempts to take advantage of the situation to ensure that the opportunity is realized. For example, a project team may take advantage of new systems, development, methodology, or tool to reduce development time or cost, or to improve the overall quality of the system, product, or service. Next one is sharing of ownership. In this case, an opportunity may be shared with another party who can better capture the benefit of the positive event. This could include partnerships or joint ventures with vendors or customers, so that all involved can gain from this joint ownership. And the last one is acceptance. This implies that the project manager and team have an open mind so that they can take advantage of an opportunity should it arise without actively pursuing it. Respond to a particular risk in terms of a threat may follow one of the following strategies. First one, accept or ignore. Choosing to accept or ignore a particular risk is more passive approach to risk response. The project stakeholders can either be helpful that the risk will not occur, or just not worry about it unless it does. It can make sense for risks that have a low probability of occurring or a low impact. However, reserve and contingency plans can be an active approach for risks that may have a low probability of occurring but with a high impact. Next one is avoidance. The avoidance strategy focuses on taking steps to avoid the risk altogether. In this case, an active approach is made to eliminate or prevent the possibility of the threat occurring. The next one, mitigate. The term mitigate means to lessen. Therefore, a mitigation risk strategy focuses on lessening the probability or the impact of threat if it does occur. And the last one is transfer. Transfer strategy focuses on transferring ownership of the risk to someone else. This transfer could be in the form of purchasing insurance against a particular risk or subcontracting a portion of the project work to someone who may have more knowledge or expertise in the particular area. As a result, this strategy may result in a premium or added cost to managing and responding to the risk.
Step 5, which is monitor and control risk. On to the monitor and control risk, we have three main components, which is risk audit, risk reviews, and risk status meetings and reports. Risk audits consist of external to the project team, while the risk reviews consist of to the internal team. So you can merely deploy the forces against the risk without keeping track of how that endeavor is progressing. This is when the monitoring comes into play. Whoever owns the risk will be held accountable for tracking its resolution progress. But you will need to keep informed to have an accurate view of the project's overall status to detect and monitor emerging dangers. To control the risk, you should hold a series of meetings. Make sure you have previously agreed on a method of communication. It is preferable to have several communication routes. Whatever you decide, remember to always be transparent. It's great if everyone in the project is aware of what's going on, so they know what to look out for and can assist to manage it. An example to the risk response plan, which is it has 5 main components inside it, which is risk, trigger, owner, response, and resource required. A trigger which flags that the risk has occurred, an owner of the risk is the person or a group responsible for monitoring the risk and ensuring that the appropriate risk response is carried out. A response based on one of the 4 basic risk strategies, and the adequate resources are resources that are needed in order to mitigate the risk. Alright, respond and evaluate response to risk through risk evaluation. First of all, what we need to learn is to increase our understanding of IT project risk in general. And then the next thing is to understand what information was available to managing risk and for making risk-related decisions. And then the third point is to understand how and why a particular decision was made. Fourthly, understand the implications not only of the risk but also the decisions that were made. Last one is learn from our experience so that others may not have to repeat our mistakes. Thank you.
Okay. Alright. So, diorang ni naik express train. Okay, dia jadi laju cakap dia kan. Okay, actually you don't have to read one by one kan. Actually they can, you show the visual, right? So actually they can read by themselves. You just mention that to reduce the time kan. You have limited 15 minutes kan. Bukannya laju kan cakap kan. You explain too slowly but precise sajalah. You boleh bagi tahu respond evaluate is first understanding, decision, tak payah elaborate pun tak apa because they can read later on kan. Kalau you have a limit time lah kan, bukan makin laju kan. So actually they already give me a first video which is 16 minutes, then I ask them to reduce 15 maximum. So that's why dia macam naik express pula kali ni kan. Okay, laju, penat dengar. But it's okay, okay. Actually you know lah, when you are giving a limit time, so it's not to talk fast, okay. Smartly lah, smart kan, smart sikit lah. Okay, apa ni, cakap tu kurangkan sikit lah dia punya explanation kan, bukannya laju kan. Because I believe that when you talk fast like that, okay, your friends lagi macam, apa, habis, kan. Macam tu lah contoh dia lah maksudnya. So suddenly dia, dah habis lah pula kan. Satu pun tak dapat. Contoh lah, hopefully adalah yang fokus kan. Because you did do the visual, so they should read the text lah kan, instead of listening to you is the support dia sebenarnya kan. So you should elaborate yang tak ada dalam slide tu sepatutnya kan. Maksud saya yang teks yang di luar dia tadi. Tadi yang first part tadi nampak macam nice you explain tu kan. Okay, bila yang belakang-belakang tu dah baca je. Okay. Okay. Right. So let me share the understanding level first. Alright, check in the chat box. Chat box macam ni, chat box kan, and do a voting. Either you get half of it, okay, or you did not understand at all, okay, or you fully understand. Okay. So actually it's quite simple lah, managing project risk, how you manage a project risk, okay. Okay, 7 votes. Twelve votes. Okay, keep voting. I expect to get 30 votes. Okay, lepas votes kita buat quiz. Quiz 10 minutes lebih kurang. Okay, waiting for others to complete. You bolehlah sempatlah lari pergi toilet ke, pergi buat, pergi ambil kuih kat dapur kejap ke kan. Tapi jangan pergi dulu because votes ni normally it can finish early lah. Okay, 21. Continue vote. So we have 44 hari ni. So 30 boleh lah kan. 23. Okay, come on. 24. 25. 5 more. 28, 2 more. Okay, 28. Come on. 2 more. Okay, siapa lagi tak vote tu? Masih lagi 28 votes. 29, one more. Siapa lagi? Satu lagi vote. Satu lagi yang belum. Tengok ramai yang on guna mobile. Okay, 30 votes. Okay, we have most of you maybe half understand, 90%. Alright, good number, 90%. A lah dapat A kan. Dapat A, maybe half kan. Okay, so adalah dapat. Okay, dapat. 7% yes, fully understand. Fully understand ni mostly from the group that present the topic lah. Okay, I know lah the person saying yes tu memang saya nampak cara dia explain tu memang dia faham lah. Okay, and one vote, 3% did not understand at all. Okay. So, belum masuk kelas ke yang no tu? Okay, so hopefully after my summary topic, you should able to change. Bukan suruh tukar lah. Maksud saya your perceptions tu akan tukar lah daripada no, at least you jump into the maybe half. Or terus jump yes, which is good lah kan. Alright. So before I continue with the summary, let's do a quiz first. Okay, check in the chat box. 10 minutes for doing a quiz. Simple 2 questions regarding topic 7. Those done the quiz, only 2 question kan, done, you pergilah toilet dulu, pergilah buat kopi dulu, kan? Bolehlah ambil kuih sekejap, kan? Sempat goreng tu, tak tahulah sempat tak goreng pisang. Tak sempat kot kan? Curi biskut dulu ke, bolehlah, kan? Okay, kalau 10 minutes, so I'll stop pukul 45 lah kan, 2:45. Okay, considering yang those having internet issues lah, so 10 minutes should be fine lah. Kalau tak ada internet tu kan, panjat sikit atas bangunan tu, jangan keluar sikit daripada kawasan tu kan, maybe you can get the signal, bolehlah hantar quiz, at least hantar quiz lah dulu kan. So 10 minutes enough, 2:45 kan. So done, you can take 10 first, take 10 minutes. Nak dengar lagu? Ada 7 lagu. Tak apalah kan. So 10 minutes tu boleh pergi toilet break dululah. Okay, so far only 1 complete the quiz. 2, okay, 3, right. 8, 10. Sebab tu saya guna Google Form. Dia lebih mudah kan, lebih ringan kan. Rather than saya guna applications macam Kahoot ke, Quizzes ke. Dia a little bit heavy kan. So sometimes those have internet issues, you cannot go. Sebab saya ada experience. Saya buat quiz guna Quizzes kan. And the students give respond lah. Dia cakap dia terus benci quiz, dia cakap. Sebab dia ada internet masalah kan, masalah internet. So dia tak suka bila part quiz saja dia tak boleh access. Because of course dia ada masalah internet kan. And then maybe the technical problem lah kan. Tak boleh masuk ke. Tapi normally is internet issues lah. Sebab tu saya try to use simple kan, simple quiz. 23 dan dekat Jasin hujan tak hari ni? You all semua bukan dekat Jasin tak ada seorang pun yang dekat Jasin. Grimace. Samalah macam dekat kawasan saya juga Grimace kan. Okay. Okay, cepat je masa berlalu. Kita dah topik 7. We are currently in week 9 kan. Week 9. So tak banyak je masa lagi. Week 10, 11, week 10 next week. And then another week tu you ada lagi holiday kan. Holiday sempena Christmas actually kan. So because taking into considerations of our Bumi Putera ni ada yang ni Christian right, sambut Christmas. Kalau Chinese New Year saya tak nampak pula you ada cuti 1 minggu kan, sebab you tak ada Chinese kan, Bumi Putera semua. Sama juga macam di Bali. So best lah kan, ada cuti mid-sem break, lepas tu ada cuti special sempena perayaan lagi. 2 kali cuti you all dapat kan. Okay. And then we have continue week 11, 12, 13, 14 finish kan. Week 12 tu apa ni? Apa dia orang panggil? Wall apa benda yang tak boleh buat kelas langsung kan. Tapi you kena buat activity student lah kan. Okay. Week apa? Week with wall apa? WWW. Week
without wall. Week without walls.
Week without wall. Okay. Interesting pula ada nama macam tu, week without wall. Okay. So untuk penuhi masa sharing kan, sharing sessions, industrial talk, tapi bukan belajar punya. Lupakan sekejap 1 minggu tu untuk belajar, macam tu kot maksud dia kan. Okay, and then you continue week 12, 13 and 14 kan. Sometimes if we can complete the topic early, we do revision kan, and then we focus on the project final presentation saja kan. Then boleh habis lah. Habis on week. Sometimes week 13, sometimes week 14 lah, depend. Tapi sebab ada WWW tu kan, so mesti sampai week 14 tu. And you have 2 weeks of holiday. Okay, 40 response so far. How many participants we have? 46 minus me, 45. 45. Lagi 5 orang. Letak yang on 2 device. Dalam kelas ni kita ada Michelle kan. Michelle nak sambut Christmas. Balik Sarawak ke Michelle?
Ya doktor. Sebab ada konvo juga. Terus balik.
Oh, ada konvo. Konvo di Sarawak, diploma.
Ya betul. Next week.
Wow, congratulations. Wow, banyak kali lah naik atas stage tu Okay. Alright.
Thank you doktor.
Okay. So we have 3 more minutes. So since you all pun cuti festival kan, saya pun nak balik Sabah juga untuk having Christmas juga. Okay, saya pun nak bercuti juga di Sabah lah. Mana tahu nanti satu flight dengan Michelle. Tapi Michelle pergi Sarawak kan. Okay. Okay, 41. So waiting another 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Okay, dah ujung-ujung ni ada yang feel pressure tak? Alamak, tu tak study ni tak hantar kan? Cool, relax, okay? Okay, relax saja, okay? Just make sure you know the due for each assignment kan? Hidup ni selalu complicated. It's depend on us lah kan? Okay, cheer je, don't worry. Right. So selalu kelas saya taklah stress kecuali time presentations kan. Mungkin lah kan. Mungkin kan. So dalam kelas biasanya kita fun-fun je kan. That's the purpose of release our stress. Okay. So UiTM ni dia lain sikit lah. Kalau dekat UiTM kan, UMS kan. Kelas pukul 2 kan, 1:30 saya open, semua dah masuk dah. So sharp pukul 2 saya dah boleh mula kelas. Macam tu lah. Tapi you all terbalik. Physical you on time tau. Tapi kalau online, susah sangat nak on time. Susah sangat nak semua orang dah hadir pada pukul 2 tu. So saya kena tunggu. Kenapa ya macam tu? Maybe because of the transition kan, physical, online, online, physical, 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 online, macam tu kan. So, tak tahu tapi maybe itulah things need to consider lah bila kita ada hybrid class macam ni. That's why saya selalu bagi masa sampai to 10 kan, 10 minutes lah. Mana tahu yang ada jalan-jalan lagi dengan kangkung. Okay. Oh, 43 dah. Okay, 43. Saya rasa ada seorang lagi tak jawab kot. Ke ada 2 orang yang on 2 device. Okay, never mind. I give... Oh, okay. It's already... time's over. 2:45 now. Okay, ada lagi tak yang tak jawab? Boleh saya close? Kalau tak ada objection, saya akan close. Kalau you masih lagi figure out the quiz, so you let me know now so that I can hold 1 minute more. Kalau tak ada objection, then I stop accepting the response. Let's check the answer together. Okay. So, mostly, majority dapat 2 markah penuh kan, 2 points. Okay. A few lah, 7. 7 got 1 point. Ada seorang kosong pula markah dia ni kan. Ni tertidur ke masa tu? Okay. Atau terlalu cepat dia tak dapat kejar kan. Okay, but never mind. Okay, never mind. Okay, let's look the answer. Okay, successful risk management requires. So majority get correct answer. Stakeholder responsibility. Remember we have common mistake and also successful kan. Ada 3 je dekat situ kan. Responsibility, commitment and apa tadi? Different risk kan. Question number 2. Empty space is an uncertain event that if it occur has a positive or negative effect on project objective. Ni je lah tajuk kita hari ni lah kan, tentang risk. So project risk. Okay, bukan risk management, project risk lah. Is uncertain event. Kan event management ni ialah dah manage kan. You punya process is managing kan. So talking about uncertain event is the project risk lah, or risk. Okay, risk. Yeah. Alright. So let me stop first and sharing the lecture note. Okay. Alright. So today chapter 7. Okay, we continue after we done project planning. Okay. Now we manage a project risk. Okay, which is actually is a part of plan. Which is we come up with the backup plan. Okay. So at the end of this objective, at the end of this chapter, okay, you should be able to describe the project risk management planning framework, which consists of these 6 elements that will be explained in this topic, and then apply the identification tools and understand the cause effect and the integrative nature of project risk. Okay, and then can apply several qualitative or quantitative or both analysis techniques and can analyze it. So then you can describe the various risk strategies, such as insurance, avoidance, mitigations, and then describe risk monitoring and control, and finally describe risk evaluations. But all of this topic is talking about the risk management planning framework. Okay, so the item after this is the 6 process or framework or That's why management is the process kan. Process, management, framework. Sama lah tu. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One did not mention lah in here. Okay, but actually it's a part because we are the analysis, identify analysis, right? Okay, let's go, we will go through one by one later on. So, why? I let Shuhada start with the word of why we need to manage a project risk, kan? Because the common mistake done for each of the project is because we not understand the benefit of risk management. Tak payahlah buat risk management, okay? We can control immediately when it's happened. Confident sangat, confident level terlalu tinggi kan? So, not understand, okay? Not understand the benefit. So, rasa macam not useful. Buang masa lah kan? Not providing adequate time. Because you are rushing kan? You are rushing proposing a project. So, you don't have time to have the risk management plan. So, it can be lah. Okay? Not identifying and assessing risk using a standardized approach. Inilah. Tak identify. Or tak menggunakan pun approach, okay? Approach, a method, okay, to trying to identify and assess the risk. So, normally or in generally, when we said that we have the success risk management or effective, okay, it should have commitment by all the stakeholders, okay. And then stakeholders have responsibility. What the stakeholder need to do as a project manager and also the team, you need to complete the project. But for the stakeholder, you might need to approve the approval process. Did not change the requirement. Okay, they know their role and responsibility. And then different risks for different type of project. You should be able to identify different risks so that you can have a backup plan. So first of all, we need to know kenal tak kenal maka tak cinta, right? So define what is risk. Okay, so risk based on PMBOK guide is defined as an uncertain event or condition. Okay, if occur either positive or negative effect, okay, on one or more project objective, okay, because normally we have more than one objective, right? So either on the scope, schedule, cost, or quality. So it's an uncertain event or condition. Okay, so this is the main content for this topic 7. Okay, managing risk, kan? Managing project risk. Okay, so it's have a framework. Okay, in your learning outcome just now, saying that a framework. Actually, this is the framework, and actually this is a process as well. Okay, framework is the method that we refer, we use as a guideline. So inside it is a process. Macam you have a methodology method of SDLC, right? So it's a method, right? It's a method. Okay, but inside it is a process, piece by piece. So same goes with this risk management process. We have six process. Okay, so it starts with create a risk plan, and then identify the risk, analyze the risk, and develop the risk strategies, and then monitor and control the risk. Finally, respond and evaluate the risk. So it can goes back to the planning, identify, and so on. So that's why in the circle iteration process. So let's move one step. Step 1, create a risk plan. Okay. So require firm commitment by all stakeholders to the entire risk management approach. Depend on what kind of risk management approach that you use lah by the organization. Okay, you can use that just now is the agile, right? The iterations. So you can use waterfall. See, like I said that the software development SDLC also you can apply in the risk plan as long as it have a process. Kan? So if you Google risk management approach, there is a lot. So as long as you can identify it, you can apply it. Apply it is the most important. Any approach you can use. Okay. Risk planning focus on preparations. Risk plan, right? Plan. So we prepare for anything happen. Okay. So systematic preparation and planning can help minimize adverse effect on the project while taking advantage of opportunity as they arise. Okay, we have a backup plan. Anything happen, we already know what to do, what to solve, how to solve. Okay, if the backup plan A couldn't solve, we have B, C, D, E, F. Not only until Z, continue lah. I Roman, second Roman. Just joking. Okay, just a preparation. Okay, after we have creating a plan based on the approach that we choose, we identify the risk. Okay, identify the risk through the project risk identification framework. Actually, it same goes with the creating plan just now. You have many types of risk identification framework. So one of it is using this one lah. This copyright taking from the John Wiley and Son. This is publications lah, publications 2015. It's used spiral, kan? Spiral. So how to identify risk? So based on this, it use spiral framework. Okay, it start with the MOV, consists of the scope, quality, schedule, budget, and then looking for the resources, resources, internal and external, kan? And looking one by one. So you need to identify risk in different perceptions, different angle. Yeah, that's why you have this spiral. To identify the risk, okay, not only we have the framework just now, we also have the tools and technique how to identify it. Okay, first one, learning circles. Okay, lesson learned. Okay? The one that you learn in the process, kan? Lesson learned, ada lesson learned kan? So something like that lah, learning cycle. Brainstorming after the previous project done, okay, you need to have a postmortem, right? So you brainstorm. Or maybe also you haven't experienced yet the project. So what you do is gather, think what will happen, okay? What will happen when we start our project. So brainstorm among you. So everyone need to think of any situations, okay? Any brainstorm. Nominal group technique, so we will learn further here because it's quite new. The LP technique is already been introduced before, right? In what topic? Topic 5 ke? Topic 5 kan ada LP technique where you ask expert, right? Expert. Interview, you have the interview questions and you ask what is the potential issue. Maybe you can ask based on the previous experience. Okay, interview. Okay, checklist, you have the checklist. Okay, and then you can say that the checklist of course maybe from the brainstorm or maybe based on the previous work. So the checklist you must check, is there any happen in these phases? No. Planning, no. Is that any happen in these analyzed phases? No. In development, yes. We might have a short resources. So think of that. Okay, we short of resources. So what we should do? That one is on the strategy later on lah. So think of the list of issues that will be erased while you are doing the project. SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis stands for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat, right? So you identify what is the strength of our project, what is the weakness of our project, opportunity that we can have, the threat, maybe the technology, the policy issues, but the opportunity is there, meaning that maybe based on these generations, everyone looking on the applications. So this is our opportunity to go into this development of application. For example, what is the strength? We have all our people is very skilled, kan? What is the weakness? Maybe all of our team is women, kan? Nanti dia beranak bersalin, kita cuti pula, kan? Contoh lah, kan? So our team member all female, so we need to have a backup plan if anything happen, kan? Something like that lah, contoh, kan? Contoh SWOT analysis, what may happen. Cause and effect, okay, this one is quite famous, okay? Cause and effect, we call it fishbone or Ishikawa. Of course, the name you can know it came from Japan, kan? Japan lah yang guna ni, kita gunakan dia, kan? So cause effect that will be explained more details later on. Past project. This one also based on past project. What happened? Then we don't want pisang berbuah 2 kali kan? Pernah jumpa tak pisang yang berbuah 2 kali? That's miracle. Right? That's miracle kan? Dia maksud dia macam tu lah. Jangan berlaku lagi. Kalau dah berlaku projek yang akan datang, try to avoid it. So something to similar with lesson learned lah kan? Okay, so a few techniques that been introduced here. Okay, first is nominal group technique. Okay, each individual silently writes their idea on the piece of paper, and then each idea then written on the board or flip chart, one at a time, around robin fashions until each individual has list all his or her idea. Then the group discuss and clarify each of the idea. And then each individual then silently rank the priorities. Okay, this technique is normal lah, normal. Normal when I went into workshop, okay, to identify a problem. The process is quite just now I realised the name is nominal group technique rupanya. Okay. Okay, so saya pun learn something juga lah actually. So each individual rank the priorities. Which one we should prioritize. The less prioritized, maybe we can take it off, or maybe we can put into consideration if we have a time. Okay, the ranking and prioritization are then summarized for the group. So you have the prioritize issues that need to be considered, rather than issue that small part lah, maybe kan, yang masalah-masalah kecil ni you letak bawah-bawah lah, maybe it's happened. Okay, so that's the nominal group technique. Okay. Next, we have risk checklist. Ni saya ada explain juga lah kan, you list out kan. Funding for the project has been secured. Example, this is the example of the checklist. Funding for the project is sufficient. Funding of the project has been approved. The project team has the requisite skills. The project has adequate manpower. All the problem that you list, okay, and then you make a checklist lah. Is this might happen? Is this we should take off? Is this we need to consider? You have a checklist. Okay. This one is the SWOT analysis. That just now I give the example. What is the strength of our team, maybe, or our project? Okay, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Okay, and this is the Ishikawa, the fishbone, the effect, cause, and effect. So there is a cause and effect inside this one. So macam tulang ikan kat sini, sebab tu dia panggil fishbone. Okay, so starting from this one, poor performance, okay, limited opportunity, low morale. Okay, better opportunity is the high salary, advanced new challenge. So poor team environment, conflict, poor working condition. Ni maksud dia ni lah cost. Cost dia ialah yang 4 segi ni. Apa cost dia? So dia punya effect, this one lah, conflict, working, cost, job burnout. Okay, effect dia ialah overtime, unrealistic demand and pressure. Okay, so key project team member leaves. This is the heavy one lah. Okay, next, after first, just now we create the plan, right? And then we identify the risk. Now, the step 3 is analyze the risk. Okay, we have identified the list, kan? And then we analyze. So how to analyze it? This is using the probability, risk equal to probability times impact. Okay, so depend on stakeholder risk tolerance, can respond to a risk. Okay, probability, sometimes the risk assessment focus on prioritized risk so that an effective strategy can be formulated for those risks that require a response. This is to get the highest risk. So you can categorize it high risk, moderate risk, or low risk, or less risk, kan? So bila you categorize, and then you should be able lah to know that the high risk is the most important that we need to consider, kan? Okay, and not only that, we also have a qualitative approach. Okay, qualitative approach. We have 4 options here. Expected value. This one is which risk require a response. Okay, sorry. Which risk require a response. Okay, meaning that you have the risk that need to get a feedback. So you can use qualitative approach, expected value and payoff table, decision table, risk impact table and ranking, and task risk classification. Okay, so example of back of table like this one lah. You do a calculation and expected value. Decision tree analysis. Okay, ni you do like this one, decision system testing, full testing or limited testing. So if we do full testing, what happened? Pass 95%, fail will be 5% only. For limited, pass 30, fail 70. Which one better? So what is the ROI? So you get 8,000 untung ke rugi? 13,000. So which one is better? Full testing or limited testing? Okay, and risk impact table. Okay, the list here has been calculated based on the probability of the high risk or low risk or moderate risk with the impact and scoring dekat sini kan, and then you can prioritize it based on the analysis. Okay, score and ranking kan, lepas dah kira tadi susun balik ikut ranking dia. So this one is the highest ni lah, highest risk. Response time not acceptable to user and client. Technology does not integrated. So meaning that the highest one is the most that you need to think of the solution, backup plan. Instead of the qualitative approach, we also have the quantitative approach where it came with this probability distribution, either discrete or continuous. Ni yang belajar maths kan, probability discrete using a binomial. Okay, how to see it? Okay, binomial is looking at the shape of the graph kan. Mesti bentuk apa ni? Panggil apa? Bell shape. Okay, normally when we want to collect data, when we want to check the analysis, kita tengoklah dia mesti dalam bentuk ni normal. Normal, nama dia normal kan? Normalize kan? Normalize. So dia mesti dalam bentuk bell shape. Bell shape macam ni. So ni normal lah. Okay. Other than that, we can use rule of thumb, okay, with respect to observation, approximately 98% plus minus 1 standard deviation, 95%. This is confidence level. Confidence level when you do analysis just now, okay, analysis for the risk. Your confidence levels of data collections, either using the 68%, 95% or 99%. Okay. Other than that, you can use PERT distribution. Okay, so this is the formula calculating the PERT mean. Okay, where A, B, C is stand for all this lah. Okay, and then PERT distribution, triangular distribution. Okay, and Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo is the simulation technique. Okay, that you repeatedly random generate specific values. Okay, until you get the values lah. Okay, goes through a number of trial. Dia iterate kan sampai you dapat the number lah. Okay, so you can go through the link, okay, to understand more how to do the Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo ni quite famous lah. Monte Carlo kan. This is the simulations analysis lah. So you will get this mean, okay, or cumulative probability distribution. Sensitivity analysis. You don't have to understand all actually, but you know the option that you can choose. Okay, tornado graph. Okay, next, after we analyze the risk with the tools and techniques, okay, that been introduced. Now next step is develop the strategy lah kan. Dah tahu dah all the risk kan, and then dah kenal pasti which one is the highest risk, moderate or lower, less risk. So we develop the backup plan, the risk strategies. Okay, so risk strategies depend on the nature of the risk itself. Okay, really an opportunity or threat. Okay, is that the risk is the opportunity or threat? Okay, impact of the risk on the project, MOV and objective. What is the impact? Is it will impact on the in term of ROI? Rugi ke kan? Or it's only reflect on the small thing lah, macam maybe increase the timing ke kan, dia punya impact, ataupun yang paling important kalau dia impact dia is on cost lah kan, so you will over budget. So check the impact on MOV. Remember MOV, what inside it kan, Dia ada cost, ada apa budget, satu lagi schedule kan, schedule work work schedule, work delivery, and your objective lah. Okay, maybe one of the objective is not achieved kan, so you need to check the impact. The project constraint in term of the scope, schedule, budget and quality requirement. Okay, this MOV, the MOV statement that you create from MOV. Ingat lagi tak buat MOV tu kan? And this one is support kan, scope, schedule, budget ni support dia. Tapi actually sama je. Cuma yang ni focusing on the constraint on this scope, schedule, budget and the quality requirement. Success, responsible, possible. Okay. Boleh dengar saya tak? Right, thank you. Because I just get call in kan, jadi dia akan kacau saya punya hotspot. Okay, risk tolerance or preference of the project stakeholder. Maybe the risk can be considered with the stakeholder. Even it's high risk kan. So when you deliver to the stakeholder kata bolehlah kita take it out ke, we can provide anything. Maybe your high risk is the facilities kan. Stakeholder ada dia punya tolerance lah. Okay, we can provide this. We can increase the budget. Something like this. Something like that. So your risk strategies is also depend on this 1, 2, 3, 4 types. For situation, for condition. Okay. And strategies to respond to opportunity with potential positive impact on the project goal and objective. So this is strategies to respond to opportunity, okay? Which is with a potential positive lah. Exploitations, attempt to take advantage of the situation, even though it's a risk, okay? So you can put it as advantage, where maybe you can reduce the work scope, something like that lah. Or maybe you can get more budget, more money kan, you can request lah for the stakeholder. After we considering all the risks, okay, we should increase the budget. Okay, so since you are giving us only 10,000, why not you give us 100,000 instead? Macam tu lah contoh. Okay, so it's exploitation. So you attempt to take advantage based on the situation. Sharing of ownership, okay, joint partner. So maybe you can make a solutions by getting a partnership. Okay, we couldn't afford to produce all the 100 applications in a month. How come? So why don't we joint venture? We ask others company who are doing a same application with us. Okay, join together so we can divide our tasks. So you do two, complete joint venture lah, partnership. Okay. Acceptance, project manager and project team member mind are open in order to take advantage of opportunity as they arise. Accept lah. Acceptance ni macam kita terima je lah. Okay, kita terima je lah. Okay, risk ni dia akan jadi macam ni. Okay, we accept lah. We can do. We can maximize our energy. We can maximize our time, our support, something like that. Itu acceptance. Okay. Alright, so instead of just now the strategies that we have, we also have other strategies where we either accept or ignore. Okay, accept or ignore means that management reserve. Management reserve means that dia ignore lah, dia letak tepi dulu, dia reserve. Okay, contingency reserve, backup plan. Okay, that's why in your budget normally we put extra money which is in the contingency situation. Sama juga macam schedule kan. That's why we calculate the critical analysis based on the maximize kan. Maximize after we taking into consideration of the defenses kan. Itu pun the contingency juga. And then we have, instead of that, we have the contingency plan. Avoidance. Avoidance ni boleh je. Kita try to avoid dia kan. So tak payahlah buat yang bahagian tu. Contohlah kan. Avoid. Mitigate, reduce the likelihood or impact or both. Impact dikurangkan. So you already identify that risk kan. The strategy is tak payah buat lah. Contohlah maksudnya macam tu lah. Tak payah buat lah. Kita change the plan. Rather than we create the chatbot. Contohlah. Because we don't have the expertise on the chat box. Why don't we change to only apa kita nak kata a real agent. dia tak ada skill nak buat. Jadi dia panggil lah human yang buat tu, contoh lah kan. And then we put a term and condition. Our Q&A sessions is only working hours. Kan dia punya plan cantik dah nak buat chatbot. Chatbot contoh. Tapi tak ada expertise, tak ada money kan, tak ada masa. So you tukar lah, change the plan kan, mitigate, reduce ke atau mitigate lah. So you boleh buat macam tu lah. Transfer ni contoh insurans. Macam kata? Transfer ni ada banyak maksud lah. Either it's put under the insurance ke ataupun transfer. Sebab dia tulis transfer je kan. So it have a different meaning actually lah. Transfer the risk ke transfer dengan bagi insurance. Anything happen, okay, we have putting 10% risk on this. So anything happen, we can claim the insurance ke. Depend on the risk lah sebenarnya kan. Kalau risk tu melibatkan human, so insurance is included. Okay. After we develop the strategies, now is the time for us to monitor and control the risk. How to monitor and control? Okay, you can do audit. Okay, audit, ada audit dalam, audit luar. Audit tu mostly is external project team. But before you go for external audit, you can do internal audit first. To make sure that all in the good condition, then you can call off external. Because bila external ni, dia involve money. You need to pay them. Okay. Risk review. Okay. Review it. You have the checklist, right? So you can review it. This can do internally lah. Internally. Risk status meeting and report. Okay. And then always after phase 1 complete, call for a meeting. So what is the situation currently? Okay. And do report. Macam tu lah. So anything happen, okay, we change the plan. Macam tu lah. Always have a meeting and report so that you have the reference lah. And is that the risks happen, so you know what to do. You already have the strategies plan, right? So the meeting and report is to see the progress lah. Is it as our plan, as our identified risks? So should we proceed? Should we change the plan? Something like that. So inilah antara monitor and control the risk. And finally, after we have monitor and control, we need to evaluate the response, kan? Respond and evaluate response. Okay. To read through a risk response plan that include a trigger which flag that the risk has occurred, and owner of the risk, example, the person or group responsible for monitoring the risk and ensuring that the appropriate risk responsible is carried out. A response based on one of the 4 basic risk strategies, adequate resources. Okay, you can evaluate the response ni macam you dah ada strategies kan, so anything happen you evaluate. Is that what we plan? Is in plan. Risk, trigger, owner, response, resource required. So if there need to be change, is there need to be included? How evaluate the strategies just now. Okay, so based on the response. And risk evaluations can be the lesson learned. Okay, lesson learned and best practice help us to increase our understanding what information was available, understand how and why a particular decision was made, understand the implications, learn from our experience. So other than that, you need to have that evaluation checklist. You can have the lesson learned for the next one, kan? Remember our first phase just now is the CREAT plan, kan? CREAT plan. So lesson learned can continue from the previous one and proceed with the next project. Done. So again, this chapter is managing project risk. Okay, we have 6 process. Okay, help me name it. 1, what we need to do? Senyap. 1 is create plan. Second, come on, alamak, lambatlah tertidur dah ke?
Identify risk.
Identify the risk. After identify, then Analyze the risk. After analyze the risk, so we come up with the strategies. Develop the strategies, right? After develop the strategies, so we need to
monitor and control risk.
and control. Finally,
respond and evaluate.
Evaluate the response. Kan? Evaluate the response. Sama juga lah respond and evaluate. Sama. Okay. So 6 process for managing project risk. Okay. So why we need that? Because of to make us understand better, to provide us backup plan, to identify the risk in early phases, something like that. So the good of risk management or the success risk management should have a commitment from the all stakeholder. Role and responsibility should be understood by others, by the stakeholders. And finally, identify the different risks so that we can have a plan. That's all. Senang sebenarnya kan. Right. So that's all. Any further questions yang tak faham? Hopefully just now yang mention kata tadi tak faham langsung kan. So you can move to half kan. Yang half tu dah jadi yes dah. Alah, senang saja kan. Managing project risk ni ada 6 je proses dia. Create plan, lepas tu identify risk tu, lepas tu analyze, lepas analyze develop strategi, lepas develop strategi tu monitor and control lah. Lepas tu evaluate the response. Nah, senang je kan saya cakap. Right? So, okay, boleh faham?
Boleh doktor.
Alright. Okay, kalau boleh faham, saya rasa that's all for today. Berapa sekarang? 3.20. Okay, so we finish topic 7. Next week we will do tutorial. Kau ada tutorial in the calculation ke apa kan? Saya pun tak tengok lagi sebenarnya tutorial dia apa. Okay, so that's all. Don't forget to sign in attendance. Right, so we will continue the next chapter 8 next week. Tak ada soalan? With that, thank you everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, doktor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doktor.
Thank you,